When you have hair loss, it can be such a scary and deceivingly lonely place. But you know what? You're not alone. You are here with me. Welcome to the Alternative Hair Alchemist podcast. Hi, I'm Debra Heim. I am a certified alternative hair specialist, a wig boutique owner, and wig wearer myself due to alopecia. And this is my Tell It Like It Is take on all things alternative hair. I also happen to be a certified confidence coach, so I'm going to be sprinkling in some mindset hacks for good measure. So take a deep breath, sit back and relax, and listen to my favorite ways and my best advice on how I help others and help myself to rock that alternative hair. We're going to drop that shame and stigma. What is that about anyway? Now, let's do this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Alternative Hair Alchemist. This is Debra Heim. You can find me at debraheim.com and verybestlittlehairhouse.com. I am a happiness and confidence coach. If you're interested in opening a wig shop like mine, I can be a consultant for that as well. Just find me at the contact form on either of the websites. Now, this week I want to talk about hand-tied wigs. And the reason I want to explain all of the benefits about them is if you are like me, when you are wig shopping and you're doing it from a picture, you tend to shy away from things that are like out of a certain price range. So when you are able to see a hand-tied, when you are able to feel it on your head, because that is how I do it in my shop. When people come through the door, I make sure that they get to see every one of the options that I think would look great on them. But I noticed along the way, well, let me back up. First of all, I got my first hand-tied wig a couple of years ago, and I didn't even realize the difference that the hand-tied was going to make. I really did not. But I allowed myself to splurge because I liked the way the wig looked on me, and I was going to be in a magazine that month, so I got the wig. Now, not only did it look amazing in the pictures, about a month or so into wearing it, I realized I reach for that wig every day, no matter what. And I'm usually one that likes to change my look up, daily. But I kept reaching for it, and I realized, wow, this is because it is so comfortable. And really, it took that for me to realize, oh my goodness, this really is worth the money. And from that point on, even wearing a wefted wig, I can tell the difference. So a hand-tied wig, you trust me, get yourself a good one. Every woman deserves a really good hand-tied wig. A lot of the human hair wigs, like from John Renault, are hand-tied. But when you can find a really good synthetic hand-tied wigs, there's going to be some of the benefits, and I'm going to go through them for you. First of all, the appearance is so natural. Now, I know early on when I was choosing wigs for my shop, sometimes from the picture, at first they all look good. But the hand-tied wigs, when I post my own pictures, the wigs that get the most compliments are the hand-tied. The part lays so much flatter. It fits your head so much better. But the appearance of it is extremely natural. And the reason why is every hair on that cap is knotted by hand. And it is made to mimic the way hair grows on a head. So therefore, your most natural appearance is going to be a hand-tied cap. Not to mention, just by the nature of it being hand-tied, you're going to have an extended lace front, which means when you wear your hair back from your face, which a lot of women do nowadays, that hairline is going to look spot on from ear to ear. That's if you get a good one. I have seen some imitation, like lower cost hand tied wigs, but hopefully as you go along in your wig journey, you'll be able to tell how they feel on your head and judge by that. Next benefit is the comfort level. I've already described how much I enjoy the hand tied fit, but not just that, it is way more breathable because every hair is knotted on that very thin, whether you call it lace, whether you call it silk, what have you, there's just a very thin layer between your head and the environment, as opposed to when you have a wefted wig, the rows of hair that are sewn on it. The hand-tied technique allows for airflow to be better, so that's going to reduce if you're prone to hot flashes and just overall comfort. I'm telling you, you need to try it. And that reminds me, the John Renault editions of the Light, Lite wigs, those were all hand tied. And people noticed that, yeah, it really was like they considered it a light wig for summer. Some people did. But the light word was really just to separate them from like the normal collection because the light is way less density. But people also noticed that they were way more cooler and comfortable. Next benefit is the flexibility and realism of the cap. When it is hand tied, you can part it anywhere across the top. You can put multiple parts in a wig and it's going to look like it's going to have that scalp appearance wherever you part it. And just by it being much thinner than a wefted wig that has the rows of hair, it's going to look a lot more natural along the back, especially if you're somebody that's on the petite side and you get a wig and you have that little bit of room at the top of your head. That virtually goes away with a hand-tied wig. So that factor alone sometimes allows people that are either on the smaller or larger size of the average scale, you will be much more comfortable in general in the hand tied just because of the fit flexibility. Next benefit, and that's if you get a good one, is the durability. Because of the intricate knotting technique, the hairs are much more likely to not fall out or shed easily. I'm sure along your way, if you're like me, you have had some lace fronts or monotop wigs where when you comb them, like handfuls of hair come out. It's almost just like when you're losing your own hair. But that doesn't tend to happen as much with a good hand-tied wig. And lastly, but this is the biggest benefit of all as far as I'm concerned, is the movement of the hair. When you get a good hand-tied wig, when the wind blows in the back, it just looks like hair. And if the wind parts your hair, it looks like scalp, which now you could argue that if you have a really good wefted wig, then yeah, it's going to look just as real. And sure, if you're getting top of the line wefted wigs, it is probably going to look just as well. I don't know. I could argue that point. We could argue it in person. Because as always, I'm telling you, the best way to choose your wig is in person. But the movement, again, because every hair is knotted like it would grow on a head, the movement is just more natural. The other thing I've noticed, and this may be the same for you, if you're on the average size, but some of the wefted wigs fit you a little small, it depends on the brand. Some of them, like the ear tabs, hit me slightly a little bit high, and the wig's a little tight on my head. I have noticed that at the end of the day, when I take my wig off, you can have rows where the wefts are fitting your head, and that's not going to happen with the hand-tied wig. Now, all of those benefits, what's the drawback, you ask, I'm sure. Well, it's the cost. It's going to be significantly more, and for that reason alone, women tend to shy away because if you're like all women, pretty much, when it comes to yourself, you put yourself last. Like, women just generally will put everybody else before them. Like most women, if I ask them for if they want a hand-tied wig for themselves, they'd say no. But if it was their daughter or loved one, they would be like, oh yeah, absolutely, I want the best. So if that's you, then I can identify. But really, once the hand-tied bug bit me, I never looked back. Like, since hand-tied wigs, I will wear other wigs occasionally, but I've just made it a general rule to invest in the hand-tied wig. I think also when I get a more expensive wig, I tend to consciously take better care of it. I know most people will deny that that's a factor. Oh no, I take good care of all of my wigs, but I'll be honest here. Sometimes I don't. I'm a little bit abusive to some wigs, but when it is the hand-tied, when you know how good you're gonna feel wearing it, you tend to take a little bit better care of it. And one of the other arguments I can use to justify spending extra on a wig is massages are really nice to have, and I love them too, but they don't last forever. So if you are someone that can splurge on yourself with a massage, go ahead and splurge on yourself as well with the better alternative hair. So hopefully I've said something this week that helped you. Tune in next week. Not sure what the subject matter will be, but if you have an idea, just email it to me. And until next week, peace, love, and alternative hair. If you enjoyed this episode, you might like working with me one-on-one even better. You can check out the options at debraheim.com. You can find my shop at verybestlittlehairhouse.com. And don't forget my Wise Wig Advice and Support group, also on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, peace, love, and alternative hair.